back to the Blue and Gold Report. We have our alumni segment, our first one of the year actually, and I'm so happy to have Whitney Pavlik, former women's volleyball player, on the show with us. Whitney, thanks for being on the show.
For sure, happy to be here.
Pro Beach Volleyball National Champion. I mean, that has to be an amazing feeling.
It was. You know, we had an amazing year this year, and it started out with just so much training and really preparing, because last season was actually a pretty good season for us, kind of like the start of something new for us. But so we decided that we wanted to, coming off of that last year, we wanted this year to be even better. So, you know, we put the right training around us, the coaches, and then, you know, it finished with that national championship at the end of season with another Manhattan Beach win. So we were ecstatic. It was awesome.
You were the 2008 Rookie of the Year. 4 years later, you're a champion. Talk about what that journey's been like and how you partnered up with Jenny. You weren't. This is your third year with Jenny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is we just finished our third season. We'll be going on to our fourth. But yeah, since 2008 Rookie of the Year, and Jenny was actually the 2007 Rookie of the Year, but we didn't start playing together till the 2010 season. You know, it was. I'm glad it took us that long to, you know, play with each other, because I think we both figured out what we needed, and, you know, but we also have grown so much together since the 2010 season. You know, we came together, I think, 2 tournaments into the 2010 season, and it was not a good season for us. I was really sick. I somehow got mono right before we started playing together, and our first tournament was Huntington that year in 2010, and I think we got a 25th. Which both of us haven't really got 25th in a really long time. I think it was both our qualifying years. But, you know, and then we stuck it out. Like, I think our best finish that year was a 9th. And a lot of people don't stick together after that, even if they think they should be doing better. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we, from there, decided we are going to work our butts off, and because we think we should be good together. And it really paid off, especially that year when the AVP went under. You know, middle of the season, none of us knew what we were going to do. And in January of that year, we decided that we were going to start training. We didn't even know if there were going to be any tours, mm-hmm. but we want to get a head start, and we started practicing with Anna Collier, and it kind of just went from there.
Did you at any point, you know, during that time when you thought the AVP was going to go under, think about doing something else at all, or were you always determined to play beach?
I was definitely always determined to play beach. It was definitely scary for a while there because we didn't know what we were going to do, but I knew that there was the international tour, mm-hmm. which a lot of us would be going for at that point if there wasn't a domestic. But, you know, I just knew how much everybody loves beach volleyball here, and we were just optimistic and very, very hopeful that it would get picked back up, and it did. And, you know, now we've had, last 2 years, we've had 2 to 3 different tours, but, you know, we'll play in everything.
What's the feeling now? Do you feel it's pretty stable now?
It is. You know, this year... Last year having the Jose Cuervo Pro Beach Series, and then coming in this year they had more events, mm-hmm. and then AVP came back and had 2 events, and then the NVL had 2 events. So it was definitely stable, and we just loved how many tournaments we were able to play in. So we're looking forward to this year, and we'll play in as much as we can, domestic and international. But we're not sure if it's going to be more Jose Cuervo or AVP. We'll play in them all.
Let's dial it back a bit. How did you partner up with Jenny? Does someone kind of point you in that direction, and think, oh, these two would make a good team, or do you know each other because you play on the tour? How did that relationship begin?
You definitely know everybody because you play on tour and play against each other, but it's really just each other asking each other to play. There's not somebody saying, oh, I think you should play with that person. But we both started. I was starting out with my friend Jen Fatma, and we played for 2 tournaments, and Jenny was actually playing with Nancy Mason at that time, but just kind of until she found the partner for the rest of the season. And she asked me to play, and I couldn't at first because I was already playing with Jen Fatma, and we played in the first 2, but it just didn't really work out. So then Jenny and I decided to play together, and it just, you know, as of right now, I think it's the best decision I've made in volleyball so far. So, you know, I'm very lucky, and I love playing with her. So,
you've traveled all over, you know, Southern Cal, mm-hmm. Florida, but Milwaukee and Cincinnati. I mean, Chicago's a great city.
Yeah, so, Chicago was a lot of fun.
But Milwaukee and Cincinnati, what's that like? Because I actually was in Cincinnati, and I saw where you guys played because there's a big pile of sand there.
Yes.
And I'm just thinking, who is coming to watch these girls play in this little block of, like, urban city? But what was that like?
It's a lot when you get to play in all the different places. Like playing on the sand on the beaches are always fun, but when you go to these areas and they basically put together a sandbox. It looks like a big sandbox, but it's a lot of fun because we get so many more people involved and everybody wants to see what this whole beach sand volleyball is about. So it's so fun going to these other states and bringing it to them, but it was so fun. The atmosphere, it did. The atmosphere was a lot of fun. And it's just shocking how many people love beach volleyball all over the U.S. It doesn't matter where you go. They love to watch it. They loved to play. So it was a lot of fun getting there. And it was fun because I have a lot of family in Kentucky, so a lot of them came up to watch.
Right.
So
They just came right over the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
What about Milwaukee?
Milwaukee.
That doesn't
Right
scream
there.
beach volleyball to me at
Yeah,
all.
we were right there actually on the lake, and it turned out to be, I was shocked. I had no idea what to expect, and the setup they have there, they have so many courts and a huge beach volleyball community. So you could really find it anywhere, but I was pretty blown away of how many people loved beach volleyball there and the community they had.
We talked a little bit about this off air, but you're a big proponent of bringing sand volleyball to Southern California. And there are some schools that already have it, USC, and you want UCI to have it.
I do. I would love UCI to have a sand volleyball team. First, I think it helps so much in just recruiting because now it's such a huge sport. Everybody, just because after you're done with college indoor, we don't have anything to play professionally indoor in the U.S. You have to go play overseas. And, if you're kind of burned out on indoor like I was, you don't want to go there for 9 months and pretty much still have the feeling that you're in school, that you come home for 2 to 3 months over summer and then you leave again. So, it's a lot of people want to play beach and it's becoming a huge draw. So I think if we had it, it would just be so great. And, we have awesome beaches right here that they could do it. And having the opportunity to play both sports, sand and indoor, it's great. And I would have loved to do that. So I imagine there's a lot of indoor players right now at UCI that would love to be able to do both. So.
Well, and as you said, there's not a lot of opportunity for indoor, but there's the national team. How hard is that to get into that? If you do want to get into that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely hard. And then, you could have your tryouts and play, but just getting on that final roster for, the Olympic team, there's so many top athletes that, didn't make the cut right there, but they were, 4-time All-Americans and, the best from their school.
Right.
And so it is so competitive. It's the best of the best. And that's why, they keep doing so well in the Olympics. But yeah, you really don't have that huge of an opportunity here unless.
Do you think it's harder to move on to the U.S. indoor team or the beach indoor, or the beach team, the U.S. beach team?
I
mean, really,
don't
there's
know.
two
Yeah,
teams that play, in the Olympics.
It's hard because there's really only, you have, I think, 12 on the indoor team. It might be a little more than that now for the Olympics, but for beach, you only have 2 teams. So there's only 4 players. And, especially with the U.S. and a lot of other countries in beach, you look at the top 20 ranking system for FIVB, and you have 4 Brazil teams in the top. You have 3 to 4 U.S. You have, there's multiple teams, not just 2. So you do all that work, but only top 2 teams per country get into the Olympics. So, but then you look at the indoor, and if it's 12 to 14 or whatever the final roster is, so you have, 18 U.S. players that are really making the Olympics out of everybody who's playing. So,
and that's got to be a big time commitment too. Because
it is.
Are you even able to make earn a living while you're doing that, or is that just full 100% commitment to the indoor team?
I don't really know how the indoor team works as much as the beach, but I just know from when they do that, they also then go and play internationally overseas to make money, and then they come back and play on the national team when the tournaments start. And because I know a lot of them that did go and play overseas, and then were back on the national team when they came home. So
you're definitely not holding down a 9-to-5 job.
No, and same thing with beach. It's just doing part-time in the off season if you can, but for how much training you're doing and practices, and I live down here in Orange County. So I have to drive up to LA 4 to 5 times a week when we get back into our beach training. And I just like it down here too much. I can't move to LA.
We're going to talk a little bit more with Whitney on the international game and on what's next for Whitney and Jenny Crop. We'll be right back with Whitney Pavlik on the Blue and Gold Report on KUCI.